Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's time stamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hello. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How are you? Hey, Summer, Nancy, Michelle, Malin, how's it going? Did you guys have a good weekend? How are you? So I'm definitely taking advantage of the stream this week to get a few things done that are sitting here. Basically because I really need underwear, and my knit scraps pile it's getting so unruly and big. They're so hard to like keep folded. They're so bouncy and they just unfold, you know, and I can't like shut that bin. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of it. So, and I could really use some underwear. So, hey Dar, how's it going? All right, let me know if everything looks and sounds okay. I'm going to be using a pattern that I drafted myself, and I didn't really draft it myself. I just copied a pair of store-bought underwear that I had that I was always buying and replacing. Hey Hannah, hey Delvin, how's it going? And so if you want tips on doing that, but basically I cut apart those underwear. I folded the front in half, I folded the back in half. I tried to get them as symmetrical as possible. I made sure that I had, you know, a right angle at the fold lines. And then I have two styles, so I copied two styles. So I have one where there is a front and a back, and then there's a lining that sits on the front, right? So it's only really a two-piece underwear, back and front. Mostly I make this one because it fits on fabric better, because the two pieces are about the same height. I'm going to actually alter this one a little bit. And so this one, what I love about this one is the back I know looks gigantic, but it's because the side seams come around to the front like this. And I'm really sensitive on my hips for some weird reason. Hi, Mix Brinja. Hi, Libby. How's it going? Hey, Aisha. How's it going? And I think it's because of like stretch marks. I have one that it just gets irritated. So it's just nice when I can take the seams off of my hip bones. So, hey Granny Ema, how's it going? Welcome. So that's why this piece is so odd. Like the front is like really small, but it has a separate crotch panel, so it gets sewn like this. So it's three different pieces, and I cut an outer and a lining for this one here, and then there's seams. And then I sew this in a way where I don't have to, well, I just sew it in one seam. Each one is in one seam. I just do them both at once. So it makes it really clean finish, and there's no overlocking edge to exposed on the inside of the underwear, which I really like. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Fiona. How are you? Right, Aisha? I know, exactly. I know, exactly. I feel like the reason I made my own was every time I saw a pattern, and I have a lot of underwear patterns. There's a lot of free underwear patterns out there. And there's definitely one. I've been sent a couple. So the reason I never made any of those is even the ones that said they were high waist aren't. And I like my underwear to come up high. I do not like low rise bikini. It's probably because of the way my belly is shaped. Because I know some people are like, I hate things touching my belly. So I think underwear are very personal. And that's why I ended up just going with copying a pattern that I was buying a lot, you know? Yeah, right, Nancy? Hey, Blair. Did I say hi to you? Sorry, I haven't talked much yet today. Yeah, so that's my logic behind this. Now, I wrote down my stretch on here, and basically I just probably copied it from the fabric that my underwear was made out of. I will admit, I never check the stretch. I can tell when a fabric's probably not going to be suitable for a pair of underwear or something, you know, like a jersey. Some jerseys are a little bit boardier, like a t-shirt jersey. But knit fabrics have come so far in what we can purchase and buy. And a lot of the fabrics I gravitate toward are these like cotton lycra knits and the bamboo and rayon and tencel knits. I thought that these might be an inappropriate fabric for underwear, but I made underwear for my leftover pajama tops last year, and they're my absolute favorite underwear to grab. So I used to really like the fabric, and I still do. I really like a firm knit. Like I have this one right here that I think I got from Bra Maker's Supply, and I know you really can't tell anything about it since it's just a solid white, but it's definitely not cotton. And I would describe it, it's very cold to the touch. It feels like a lot of those underwear that are more in the technical side of things. Hey, Barbara, how's it going? Right, Michelle? Yeah, I see a lot of people like hipster style. I used to love those, and I don't anymore. I don't know why. The patterns they're lacking. Well, that's why I'm sorry I'm not making like a underwear pattern, but my point is that most underwear are sewn exactly the same. And I think it's very logical how underwear go together. So if you're needing help in putting the underwear together, ask for it, and I'll walk you through it. But I think mainly what people need, like not assistance with, I'm not assuming you guys need help, but I think really where the technical difficulty lies with underwear making is what machine you're going to use, what stitch you're going to use, and what materials you're going to use as far as elastic goes, right? Oh yeah, exactly, bunsies, I've heard of those. I've heard of some great underwear I think there's a really great underwear pattern out there. I just decided to go with what I knew because I knew it. So yeah, so this is one of my favorite fabrics right here. It's kind of expensive, and what I don't like is that where I bought this, I think they only sell in 1 yard pieces and they're cut. So if I wanted 4 continuous yards, I can't get 4 continuous yards, which blows for me. It's like a deal breaker. So because underwear are they're very weirdly shaped. And it's really nice when you have a non-one-way print on your fabric, because then you can put pieces kind of, interlocking like this, right? Because look at that. But that would mean the front is upside down to the back, right? So you got to watch the fabric purchasing on some places. So yeah, that's great, Carrie. Yeah, so I think the one thing I'm going to be doing different this round is I was all about fold over elastic the last time I was sewing underwear, and I'm not so smitten by it anymore. I really like it. The thing is, I really like how soft it is, and I like how it feels. But I think that you have to stretch it much more when you're applying it than you would a Picot. Yeah, right, Malin? Exactly. Right, Michelle? I mean, don't be ashamed by that. Oh, cool. I forgot they have an underwear pattern, Mullen. The Wardrobe by Me. That's great. Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of free patterns out there, and you can always just make those, try them on, and make adjustments. You know, like this is one thing that a lot of us probably have lots of scraps fabrics, and I just did a post this morning on Instagram because my scrap knit pile, this is going to be the weirdest underwear grouping. I usually like all black, all white, or all pale pink underwear, and that's it. I just don't like them showing through my clothes because I wear so many dresses. I don't wear light colored pants except today, of course, I'm wearing light colored pants, but I do wear dresses of all kinds, and some of them are sheer, and I just don't want to worry about that I've forgotten that my underwear will show through. Hey Nancy, how's it going? Welcome. So this is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I feel like I'm a little more responsible about picking the right pair of underwear, you know? And honestly, I just want to use up my knit scraps, and they're just, what do you use knit scraps for? I mean, it's not the same as like making a quilt or making a scrappy garment. It's not as compatible with that, especially since most of my knits are all different. Like this one right here is the cotton lycra. These two are like a bamboo or rayon tencel knit. This is that yarn dyed stripe from Hearts. These are all from Hearts right here. This is just like cotton. These will fade pretty quick. This is also a yarn dyed. I actually love this fabric. This one will be great, actually. And it's real similar to this right here. This is another bamboo, another from Hearts. They love their bamboos. This one is like this as well. I'm not sure where I got the black. This is a spoon flower fabric, another cotton. It actually will say, I'm pretty sure it's the organic. Yep, organic cotton knit. And this was left over from a shirt I made my mom. So it's definitely a winter-themed underwear set. Oh yeah, I have that one, Fiona. Yeah. Yeah, underwear are fun to sew. I think the one thing that always sneaks up on me is that I'm not as prepared with materials as I think I'm going to be. Like today, I know I have a bundle of Picot elastic just like this. It's like this little mess right here that's white. I can't find it. And I know you guys are always like, are probably always wondering, like, I always say I don't lose things, but it's just because sometimes I'll stage something for a video series and then it gets out of the stash. And usually everything I've staged is over here, but there's certain things sharing bins, so I think it's tucked in somewhere. Hey, Lindsay. So, this is the only Picot edge elastic I have. So I'm thinking about, oh, and I have this. So Christy, you guys have probably seen her in the stream. She really got an underwear making kick and explored all kinds of fabrics and elastics. So I consider her a very good fount of knowledge when it comes to this. This is her favorite. So I'm going to share her favorite just in case this helps any of you. It's by Stitch Love Studio. Or it's not by, but she buys it from them. And she really likes this kind of firm Picot. So it's not lacy. They're both kind of firm. And I think this is the, is 10 millimeters 3/8 of an inch, Mullen? I think that's what it's 3/8 of an inch. And I'm pretty sure it said 10 millimeter, right? Because 35 millimeters is 1 3/8, right? So she sent me this as a gift. She also sent me some of my favorite fabric I've ever gotten for an underwear one year, and this was in there. This little Picot that's so cute. It's got like microscopic pom-pom. It's on the edge. It's very cute. This is all I have left. So this is the other thing. When you're starting to do this, this is my one big tip when buying elastic. Try and figure out roughly how much you need per pair of underwear. Because what happens is you'll end up with this. You'll have enough for one pair of underwear and then this little guy left over, one leg. Thank you, Malin. Thank you. Yeah, so the 3/8 inch is the one that she really likes. And this is a waist. She likes this firm waist, which is probably just under an inch. It's like 7/8 or 3/4. Yeah. This is her favorite combo from Stitch Love Studio. Yeah, I bet it's early, Lindsay. Delwyn's up early too. So that is my biggest tip because I have a little bag of scraps like this And unless you're making videos and you're like, oh, this will be great for a video, I just don't know what to do with this. I know, like, it's fine to think, oh, I'll just use it on one leg. Okay, here's the deal. I have done that for underwear, and what happens is there's something different about each leg, and one will creep outside of where it needs to be. Like, it'll go up my butt, right? So, that's why I caution you against using the scrappy stuff, because you're going to have a pair of underwear that, like, one leg fits really nice, and maybe the other leg would too if the other leg matched it, you know. So, oh yeah, the woven knickers, right? Yeah, and Lindsay was showing us that because there's the one with the bias front panel. Oh, in your project book, yeah, that's smart too. So anyway, that's what I would say. I would figure out how much elastic you need per pair of underwear and then buy your yardage accordingly, because having little bits and pieces and scraps like this, because this stuff isn't cheap. So if it's a, you know, $2 a yard or $1.50 a yard, you're looking at, you know, it adds up. Hey, Sydney, how's it going? So that would be something to think about. So this is what I'm going to try out. I know I promised Picot because I like the stretch of Picot. I don't like the feel of Picot. And that's why Christy recommends this one here, because it's soft. It's got a soft back and it's firm. She really likes that. Not that yellow one. The Picot is really stretchy, but when you're using a cover stitch machine or a zigzag machine and a serger, it's a 2-part process to put it on. And that's not a big deal. Fold over, though, is a 1-step process. So I don't think the woven will work for me. I think it'll get hung up everywhere. Plus the fabric, you'd have to use really smooth fabric, wouldn't you? But I love the idea of it, and I used to love wearing boxer shorts a long time ago. Women's boxer shorts. They were great. Sounds like Fiona has some good tips about that. Fabric binding, no, I wouldn't use fabric binding, mainly because there's no stretch. I mean, okay, I won't say that there's no stretch. Hey, Amy, how's it going? I think you can use binding if you're looking for a leg or waist hole. Well, I'm not sure about the waist, but I think for a leg hole you could use it as long as you don't need it to snap back. Because you could use binding folded in half, wrong sides together, and then, you know, then use it as an edging. But you could, because I don't think binding, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. Maybe on the woven pair of underwear. Yeah, you like using the fold over on Sydney? You like boxer briefs? Yeah. I better keep drinking water. I can already tell my throat's dry. So one thing I have really liked, and I might do that for some of these if I have the fabric, like I might have the fabric on this one, is I'll use a self fabric waist out of the knit fabric. Is that what you mean, Michelle? Do you mean just using a self trim, not binding? And when you said binding, I was immediately thinking like woven fabric cut on the bias. Oh, there you go. So Aisha says the bunsies have a binding option. It's knit. Okay, yeah. Okay, knit is great. Great. Yeah, that works. I didn't know what you meant about fabric binding. Sorry. Yeah, you could do knit fabric binding. It's cross cut though. And again, I think it depends on which fabric you're going to use. I think if you're going to use something like one of these bamboos, they're going to be they'd probably work the best, but they'd probably make you want to poke your eye out at the end. Yeah, and that's how I've done it, Mullen. Yeah, so what I'll do is make a strip, fold it wrong sides together, and sew it in as an edging, like the elastic. That's actually one of my favorite ways to do the waistband. It's really comfortable. It's nice and soft. And so it's the reason I actually buy, the reason I bought the narrow fusible, this stuff. Because this is Tricot. And I was so excited when I found it. But they didn't put the stretch going the length of it, because this would be perfect. It would stabilize it. It would give it something more body, especially for something like this that's going to roll like a Dickens. You know, like once you cut this in a tube, it's going to roll up into a tube. Not if once you cut it into a strip, it'll roll up into a tube. So this right here, this Tricot, it stretches going this way when I wanted it to stretch going this way, and it just really doesn't. So, because that would have been awesome. I would have done that for days. That's why I bought a roll in this narrow. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, but I do love using that roll for other stuff. Yeah, and that's the thing, Mullen, exactly. If you're using scraps, you might only have the, like the piece that's like this wide along the side of where you cut out the project. Because that's usually what happens, right? Knits are always in these really wide widths, you know, which is interesting since most of the garments we cut out of them aren't wide, you know, so. What I think the easiest elastic would be, Amy, are you the one that asked in the guild about using a zigzag machine if you don't have a cover stitch? Because that's how, I want to know that before I answer the question. I'm going to assume if you're new to knits, you don't have a cover stitch, and I'm pretty sure that was you that asked that. I think it just depends on what you like sewing, because you can use fold over or Picot with a zigzag, and I actually really like the way that looks. And it depends on how you're going to attach it. So now, if you don't have a serger, you should just maybe go with the fold over, because then it's still a one-step process with the zigzag. If you do have a serger, then you have a few more options. You can serge it on and then turn it and zigzag it. What do I think is easier though? I don't know. I really feel like it's personal. Okay, that's what I thought was you. Okay. Lacy elastic for legs, waistbands. The fabric edge is even finished. Single step. Exactly. Yeah, they do. They don't finish the edge. It's funny because I know I got a lot of blowback for that video I did on do you really need a serger? But so many knits aren't finished on the inside. We just don't look. We don't notice it because we never look. But they aren't finished a lot of times. Knits don't need to be finished. It's not a fabric that unravels. There's no reason to finish it except for that it looks nice. And the other thing about it is that it does make the fabric flat along that edge for the width of the serger, which makes it a little bit more manageable. Oh, okay, Amy, yeah. Yeah, I really don't think you need a cover stitch to do this. It's fun, but it's not necessary. And honestly, some cover stitches play nicer than others with stretching that much. All right, so let's cut a few. So I'm not sewing today. I know probably a lot of people are really interested in sewing these. I'll probably do a little bit of experimenting tomorrow. I even went to Waywack today and was like, could I get some Picot elastic? Guess what? They're out of everything. They're out of everything but pink and red in a 50-yard roll of, I think, a Picot that looks a lot like this one. Not like this one. This one is lacy. See, this one is kind of lacy. And you can kind of see the light passing through it, even in the body of it. This one wouldn't be like that. This one's very much solid. It's sturdier. See, there you go. It gets too bulky. But boy, is it satisfying putting that fold over on the edge and cover stitching it. Yeah, the waistband elastic, I'm probably just going to use the narrow stuff. It works great. But if you're like, for me, I feel like I've gone through phases where I like my underwear to like, not cinch me in, but I like to feel like they're there and like making me smooth, right? I'm kind of getting over that. Now that I've had the bamboo underwear, they're just so comfortable, and it's light and comfortable, and I just like not even feeling them on me. And a lot of those others, they just had like probably the clear elastic. You know how you can get clear elastic to stabilize shoulders and things like that in knits? You can put that inside a self-folded trim like we were talking about earlier with cutting a strip that you fold wrong sides together. Some people will put a piece of elastic in there, and it's usually that very thin bathing suit elastic. I'm going to call it bathing suit elastic because it's most often used in swimwear applications because it's clear and you don't see it. Oh, really, Carrie? Waistband hack. Interesting. I'm trying to remember what that is. Yeah, it's so satisfying, Mullen. It feels like it's gonna go crazy or haywire and not you're not gonna be able to pull it off. But the thing is about fold over. So when if you're new to the world of elastics, people will say FOE. They'll just write FOE. That stands for fold over elastic. And I have a few here. I have this kind and this kind here. So I have this one. I really like this stuff. I got this at Minerva, but the first place I ever got it was Hearts because they just sent it to me. So this is fold over. Let me try and find a piece of the table that will show you better. Okay, so here's the outside. See, it has that little shiny decorative design, right? And it has a little bit of a scallop. The inside is fuzzy. And it is already folded, right? So this stuff is the easiest because no matter what, this is going to land one side on top of the other. It's guaranteed, right? Look at that. It's already done. Okay, something like this. This is very affordable stuff. It too is somewhat, it's dull. I'm not going to say it's plush. It's dull on this side. It's shiny on this side. It's not the most attractive stuff. It's kind of a satin finish. They sell it very often for scrunchie making, or not scrunchies, hair ties. You've seen this like at the drugstore made into those little funky little rubber bands, right? They've taken over the FOE market. So this one right here, it has a score down the middle, making it easier to fold. See that? There's like this score. But you can see this one, it still kind of flares. So you have to manage this one a little more, but when it folds, it will be directly on top of itself. So you can do an elastic waistband hack. Are you talking about the kind where you serge the elastic to the edge and then turn and top stitch it? Because what you can do is do something like that, but take the fabric edge that you were supposed to serge the elastic to and fold it under first. Or fold it around the elastic. I'm pretty sure I think I know what you're talking about. Let me get a piece of elastic. Oops. Nope. Here we go. So, Carrie, is that what you mean? Because what you can do, oh, this is going to be a nightmare to try to show you on that. I need some woven. Here we go. Okay. So what you can do is when you do that first step, instead of serging the elastic to the edge, fold over a piece of your fabric around it, you know, stretch all this, you know, you're stretching your elastic, you're stretching this piece, and then edge stitch it on, and then turn it down and top stitch it down. It would look really nice. So in other words, instead of doing like what I usually do in that video is I serge this on there like this, right? I stretch the elastic, I serge it through, right? No, it's an enclosed elastic on the back. Oh, why wouldn't that work? Okay, I'm sorry, I assumed incorrectly. Are you in a Journeyist group, Carrie? I can't remember. I don't keep track of that stuff. Because you could come to the workshop and I could show you. Or post a picture in the guild. And we can help you. There's got to be a way. You've been working on those Winslows for a while. You're going to get that. That pattern's going to be amazing. All right, let me cut out some underwear. Oof, I wonder how good my blade is. It's the, you know, instead of like the how low can you go with the limbo, it's like how frustrated do you want to be with your blade every time you go to cut. All right, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. I have so much of this fold over that I feel like I need to use it too. Yeah, I feel like we can figure it out though. I'll start with these. This I could use any blade with this stuff. It's fabric. My mom wanted a winter shirt, you know, like my mom is a retired nurse, and when she worked for a while after being a nurse for a long time at a elementary school as their, God, I cannot see where this print is lining up, as their like health receptionist. They couldn't call her a school nurse for legal reasons, so she was their health receptionist. And my mom loved working with the kids, right? She loved it. She didn't like the bureaucracy. She didn't like a lot of the adults most of the time either. But I'm sure a lot of you can feel that. But what she loved was the kids, and she loved being able to like dress fun. She always wore fun socks. You know, she was the person who was like giving kids their insulin shots and medication and, you know, making sure that some of those kids were okay, right? And so she would always wear fun socks and themed stuff. And she lost all that in the fire. And so she was like, you know, I just really want some themed shirts for for winter and for Halloween. So this was one I made for her. Ooh, I think I can even get this one way. I mean, like I really want to get more than just, you know, 2, but I could settle for 2. You know? Oh, I want to change this pattern a little bit. Do they really? Oh, okay, Carrie, yeah. Yeah, you can still post that question in the guild if you want. Yeah, put them aside, yep. Okay, I've been suspicious of those titanium blades. I'm gonna trim down my back. This is probably gonna look really weird because I'm going to taper it to where it's not trimmed at the front. I want my hip curve. I have a backwards hip tilt, and so I find that I have all this extra fabric right here at my back waist. So I'm going to I don't really want to take it down in the front, just in the back, just like that. Okay. I'll just trim this off real quick, and then I'm ready to go. All right. Did I make this change on this side? Yeah, I did, right? Let's smooth this out a little bit right here, though. There we go. Now we're ready. Fabric track tenders commences. I feel like I'll spare you a little bit of that today. I did go through this pile and made sure that I can at least get one pair in these, and this is probably my easiest one right here. I lowered the back because my underwear, I have too much fabric right there. Not in the front. The front's fine. I just wanted it lower in the back. So I just did that and then blended to the front so I still have a nice smooth transition. Just because, you know, I'm a weirdo. Just like all of us. So you can make, oops, see, this is why you never use your blade against your pattern. They could be perfect, but who knows, because I've trimmed off the part that made them perfect. You know? Oh, okay, Carrie. I have enough fabric here that I could probably, maybe, I could do an upside down pair. You know? Right? Yeah, look, I can get a whole upside down pair here too. And then here I have my outer. Okay, well, nice. Let's just draw it on here, right? I've already cut out the Sydney dress because I was just going to sew that off camera, and then I was like, you know, that'll be fun to sew with you guys. Yeah, so I'm going to do one pair that are upside down. And then I need 3 of these. And then I'm going to line all of my underwear with a solid dark color. Because someone in my stream gave me that tip years ago, and they are genius for suggesting it. I only need one more of these. All right, so I'm only going to do one notch at the front here. So if yours doesn't have a notch denoting the front and the back of the, especially if this is a separate panel, make sure you give yourself one so you don't put that on backwards. There's 2. It's kind of obvious, you know. You don't really need the notch, but in some underwear patterns, that seam is in a spot where they end up getting about the same length, and it can be hard to tell. I'm so excited to have new underwear. I hope I can make the elastic work that I have because I don't have a big color selection. I think it's easy to find elastic when it's crazy colors or only black, beige, and white. Let's pick the cutest ones. 1, 2, 3. That's 3. We're going to need to keep a tally so that we get enough fronts or panels in the solid color. Oh, maybe I can just do the back upside down, but the front's right side up. Oh no, they're both going to be upside down. How wide is the, why the lining? Why the dark lining? Or what do you mean? Definitely want to align my underwear. And then the elastics I'm using, Amy, maybe you missed it. I think you did, but I was planning on sewing using Picot elastic mostly. I know I'm being really cavalier with the cutting. Sorry. But I don't have enough Picot, so I'm going to use fold over elastic, and this was the elastics that I have right here. So I have black Picot. They're all about 3/8 of an inch. And then all these fold overs, and they are about 3/8 of an inch. This one right here finishes a little smaller than that. It finishes like a fat 1/4 of an inch. This stuff is kind of cheap though. I was kind of desperate at the time when I bought that. There's not a whole lot. Waywack is completely out of everything. Yes, why the dark? Sometimes gals need that. Oof. I think I'm gonna go for it. Ooh, I'm like so close on this. We'll make it work. I just want my underwear linings to look nicer for longer, and no one's gonna see it. If they can see that part of my underwear through my clothing, then I've got a much bigger problem. Dad are doing a print. I think a print could be fun too. All right. So I'm gonna just have to take my chances with that a little bit. All right, let's try and be methodical here. This is one other tip I have. Stack your underwear as they sew together. I mean, these right here, I could stack all the fronts together, all the backs together, and all the linings together, because I can do then add as a batch. I do want to make sure I get the upside down with the upside down, you know. Maybe what we'll do, since we're doing batch, we'll at least do them so that they're individually placed, so that they're not folded. Like when you stack all of your things and then fold them like this together, it can be kind of annoying to pull apart when you're at the machine. Right, Aisha? I know. When someone said that in my chat, I was like, that's so smart. It's like a fact nobody's talking about. All right, that's 3. I made a Monetta. This is like memory lane when you're going through your scraps. I made a Monetta dress out of this. Thankfully, I can pretty much determine the grain line of all of these. If you're having trouble, I would suggest that whichever one has the greatest amount of stretch is your cross grain. Most knits are that way, that the cross grain is the greatest amount of stretch. That is not the same for all knits though. And it isn't, but a lot of them. I'm not going to say that most of them are, but there are a lot. Wow, that's true. Easier to bleach. Yeah, maybe that's a good point. I can get 1, 2. Let's see. All right, we can get 2. This fabric rolls. Good thing we're sewing tomorrow. That's my other tip. Anytime you're sewing knits, if you're using a single knit like this, single knit means when it rolls like this, you see that? So annoying. Yeah, exactly. Grungy look of white. All right, so if you're doing a single knit like this, try to cut it right before you're going to sew it. You'll be so much happier, because if you are one of those folks that has to carve out your sewing time, I totally get it. And you're like, all right, I'm going to cut this week, I'm going to sew next week. If you can, try to cut sooner to your sewing day, just because that fabric might roll up into a tube, like an actual tube, and ironing it doesn't help. Yeah, exactly, Aisha, I know. And bleach damages fabric. It's really hard on fabric. But, you know, clothesline bleaching is great. Isn't it just annoying to watch me trace it and it stutters like that? Like, you can feel that, can't you? So annoying. This one looks so great until it gets washed a bunch. It'll fade. I like a lot of these cotton knits too, but at the same time, it just I've kind of come to appreciate the lived-in look of certain fabrics. It's kind of like, you know what I think about when I think of fabrics that kind of get that lived-in look and kind of fade and stuff. Like my shirt I'm wearing now, this is a good example of it. This is the, it's an Archer button-up, but an Archer button-up made when Spoonflower had Sprout Patterns. Anyone remember Sprout Patterns? So they used to have this division where they would print patterns onto the fabric in the shape of the print you bought. So I picked out this print, this fabric design, and I ordered the Archer, and then they would print the pattern pieces in your print on the fabric. I don't know how else to describe this. It was awesome. But back then, Spoonflower's printing quality was still getting better and better. So this is supposed to be a black background fabric, right? And it didn't come black to me ever. It came a very dark gray, and over time it gets even more kind of grayer. And the way I make it right in my head is saying to myself, it's gray and it's supposed to be gray. So now I just think of it as kind of like a, yeah. I look at it as it's like this throwback to when they had Sprout Patterns, which I actually loved. And I don't think of it as being faded, you know, because I think of it in the gray. And I think of it also when I think of like Little House on the Prairie, you know, and they wore calicos. And they were like so like sun bleached. I thought those fabrics, those like prairie dresses were like sun bleached and thin cotton. And they're just like that feel of that fabric, that kind of lived in fabric. I don't know. I'm kind of doing a bad job of describing it, but I think you kind of know what I mean. It's just there's something about that kind of broken inness that I really like. This is the, yeah. I could probably get one more. Can I get 3? Look at that. Look at that. Right, Michelle? I know. No, they don't have Sprout. They stopped Sprout the year I started streaming. And I don't know like all the reasons for it, why, but I have a good feeling, I have a good idea of that people just weren't doing it because it was kind of expensive, right? You got the pattern too, by the way. So that's how I got my Archer button-up pattern, is once you do that, they send you the pattern and the instructions in a PDF. So the problem, in my opinion, was the patterns that they picked were all beginning sewing patterns. I have nothing against beginning sewing patterns. Hear me out. The problem was the cost of it was kind of in this realm where someone who's a beginner is not quite ready to spend that much putting a garment together. You know, so if it's going to cost you, you know, $125 to do an Archer button-up from Spoonflower, and you're a beginner, you're probably not going to do that. You know, you're kind of like, oof. So I get why they were doing beginner patterns, because they probably wanted it to be really accessible. I just don't think that was the market, unfortunately. I loved it. It was a little bit decadent, but what was really cool too is the fabric, like when you have it's like this, you know, it's like your fabric, your pattern is traced onto the fabric, which makes it so easy to cut out. You can see the shapes on there. I keep messing this up. And you could lay another piece of fabric underneath or two and cut 3 out at once. It was so easy to do that. It was great. Yeah, because I was like, ooh, how do you get your patterns on there? I want a couple of my bags on there. And they discontinued it because I asked them and they were like, oh, well, we're not taking any more patterns right now. And then like 2 months later in January, they announced that it was closing. I'm assuming this right here, this fold line was the original fold line of the fabric. So I'm just going to kind of look at it and see how parallel that is. They also had a lot of kids stuff, and I think that too is like, oh, people will go for this because it's small pieces of clothing, right? It's kids, and it was just too expensive, in my opinion. I think people thought it was too expensive. I understood the value of it. I think it was a hard sell for people. Yeah, and that's the other thing, like you don't get a muslin, unless you print out the pattern, and yeah. Let's just do this. We have enough fabric here. 1, 2, and 3. Right, Nancy? Yeah, that's me too. I'm going to have so many underwear, but it's really time to get rid of some of mine. You know, you just don't notice how run down things are until you really start looking at them and then you're like, wow. Remember the whole thing of always wear clean underwear just in case you get into an accident? What's that about? Yeah, exactly, Malin. Yeah, I think so. I think that was one of the reasons. The funny thing is, when CAD, computer aided design, first came out, the first thing everybody was talking about was you could print the patterns directly onto the fabric. Or not print it, you could cut it right out of the fabric and you wouldn't have to lay pattern pieces on top. That's what I should say. And so Spoonflower took that idea and they actually did it, but the world just wasn't really ready for that iteration of it. It's just laying so nice and flat, but watch, it's going to become a nightmare by tomorrow. I don't know, this has been sitting in my stash long enough, maybe it's calm enough. This fabric, this dandelion, it's cute in theory, but for some reason, something about it that looks a little Becky Home-ecky to me. And I wear that Monetta all the time at home in the summer. It's one of my like home outfits, you know, like clean the house and do yard work. And I love that it's cotton. All right. Oof, getting rid of the pile of knits. See, this one I almost want to save and make my husband some underwear, but he says he doesn't need any. Whatever. Fine. Hearts gave me, I was shorted one time with fabric by Hearts, one time. And I think it has spooked them ever since to send me a ton of fabric. I feel bad. Look at this, this is all extra yardage right here from doing that Thread Theory Strathcona. These will be cute underwear though. This is that candy stripe, right? That's what it was called. But the accident thing is true. And they bag your clothes, they remove them so your undies are on the top. Yeah. I hope you're okay, Fiona. I mean, they're already undressing you, so I think all bets are off at that point. Yeah, right, Michelle? Yes. Oh, God, Fiona. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's hopefully the last thing anyone's thinking about, but you're probably thinking about it, right? Just looking at this grain line here. Selvage, kind of hard to tell. Is this actually folded parallel? I think it's pretty good. I'm getting them barely on there. I can pull this down. Yeah, I think the fabric that they use for the underwear panel on the inside sometimes is cotton. And the cotton knits get holes in them faster. They get, you know, just from wear and tear. They're rubbing on you. You're wearing jeans, things like that. And maybe the outer fabric is in like a microfiber, which is much stronger, or a polyester or something. The cotton, as we know from our t-shirts, we get those mysterious holes in them. And that's usually also what happens. But having a cotton liner is nice, you know. I know I should be drawing on my fabric. I have barely touched, oh, okay, yeah, I know I should be tracing. I barely touched my fabric pile and I already have 8 new pairs of underwear. I'm not going to have enough elastic for all this. I'm going to have to make the FOE work. You know? Oh, wow. Oh, 6 days old. Oh my gosh. Broken sternum. Holy cow. Wow. I'm glad you're here typing in chat. That sounds really painful. This fabric is a little harder to tell the right side from the wrong side. It's obvious when you look at it, but at the same time, the wrong side kind of looks acceptable. You know? Is this boring? Should I just pre-cut streams like this? I already cut the Sydney dress for Saturday. I think I'm just going to have that weird piece there, you know. I'm going to use it down here. Sometimes I can use these pieces for video demonstrations, so I'll save them, you know. But it is hard to use this kind of fabric in this shape at this point. I think it's probably one of the most wasteful fabrics is knit sewing. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a bunch of knitwear sewers here and they have a good strategy to share, because it's also a bulkier fabric in my stash. It's thicker. It was the seatbelt that broke. Yeah. It's like when you hear of the airbag doing a lot of damage, but it still prevented them from going through the windshield, because that wouldn't have been good. There's someone in the guild I know has been recovering from a car accident. It wasn't you, Fiona, right? But I know that it does sound like it's been a really long recovery. I followed someone who got in a really bad mountain biking accident last year, a knitter. It was really terrible. She was okay, but it was a long road. All right, I won't do the black on camera. What do I want to get rid of? I kind of want to get rid of this. I don't think I have enough, but we'll see. I mean, they're hearts. And you still remember your boss in your underwear. Hey, Beverly, how's it going? Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of fabric, right, Beverly? Yeah, I do, Nancy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's why I'm going for the bamboo tencel. Like, it's not the firmest fabric, but there's something about how it just feels like a second skin, and it's cool to the touch. I just love it. It's also not as grabby as something like the cotton lycra. Can be a little bit grabby sometimes to the outer fabric, like if a dress is hanging over it. So, all right, let's cut this one. Let's get rid of this little piece of fabric in my stash. Doesn't this feel good, getting rid of this fabric in my stash, you guys? It's like memory lane. Look at that. Made for a pair of underwear. I'm just going to look at the grain line of the fabric here. I can see it. Kind of hope that I'm getting it pretty on grain. Don't go by the printing. It's a good guide, but they're rarely printed on grain, especially knits. This is the front, so we'll put the hearts going this way. Oh, I have a calendar to share with you guys for the streams this month. So there's three streamable weeks in March, which is awesome. And this week I'm just devoting to getting some knitwear sewing done. I'm sewing the Sydney dress, which is a circle skirt, scoop neck dress, short sleeves. I've been looking for a replacement for the Moneta dress pattern for a few years now. It's a really great pattern. It's a really great beginning sewing pattern. And the Moneta came in so many great sizes and stuff. So I'm going to do the Sydney dress. Do you perk up every time I say Sydney, Sydney? It comes in tons of more sizes. Lots of variations. It doesn't have a gathered waist, which is kind of, in a way, even better for beginners. And that's such a comfortable silhouette. You can make a top out of it too. So we'll make that on Saturday. I don't have clear elastic, so we're just going to do it kind of vanilla. No stabilizing elastic. Problem with clear elastic is even if you have it, it's really hard to find in the stash because it's clear. Because I'm pretty sure I have some. Then 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be doing the Girl Friday blouse by Decades of Style. I highly recommend you check out that top. So, yeah, right, Aisha, exactly. You do, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like anytime someone says ceremony, I'm always all. The name Sarah doesn't make me perk up as much as the word ceremony. Did I already cut the, I did, right? Did I just throw it in the garbage? Or it's not garbage, but it's my, yeah, I did. Here it is. My fabric bins are so full. There's not enough yard in my yard to have that many mulch mats. Ooh, this one. I want to do this one because it's yarn dye, so it's got such great body. So that is 9 pairs. I'm trying to get something done and off my plate, and this is what's going to happen. I'm going to end up with more underwear than I can sew, and it's going to be one more thing on my plate sitting in my bin. You know? I think I can skip the red and the pink. I wasn't a huge fan of, especially, well, I don't know. These fabrics are so nice. Maybe I'll just set these aside because I'm not sure what elastics to put with these two. So I think I'm going to cut up the feathers, the stripe, and this. I think I get one more pair of this microfiber white, which is so amazing. And then I'll probably cut some black off camera. And I still need to do all the crotch panels. This one, I think I will match my stripes. So let's draw on the pattern a random stripe. Here, we'll do this. I'm not sure how straight this is. Look at that. That point does not look like. I'm just going to give myself a guide to try and keep my stripes on track. Like that, and if we want to match our stripes, Is that what I just said? I feel like I just said something kind of kooky. It doesn't mean I'm going to match every stripe onto this particular stripe, but it'll at least give me a parallel line. And then you just got to make sure you're actually on the same stripe. Have you ever done that before? Where you line it up on a stripe and it's one stripe off? Okay. Oh gosh, Sydney. You do still have 3 pairs to sew. Yeah. I had pre-washed some fabric, and a pair of underwear got stuck on the side of the washing machine. I didn't know was still in there from a previous load. And there were when they got, like, I think it was jeans or something colorful, and yeah, there's all the dye went to the crotch panel of the underwear. And so yeah, they it's very unfortunate. Every time I see him, I'm like, ugh, you know. Let's see, can I get 2? Yeah, I can get 2 pairs. Do we want this? Is this a better use of fabric up here? Not really. Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. All right, so which one is the chosen one? This one? No. This one? This stripe right here. Yeah, I'm all ready to batch, so I'm a little worried about my elastic supply. I have probably enough elastic. Well, I definitely have enough elastic to sew this many. I'm just not sure about, will I get the same elastic on every pair? And will it be kind of matching the fabric? You know? I feel like I did my stripes wrong, but I don't really have the bandwidth right now to think about it. And generally you want to match stripes on the seam allowance line, not on the raw edge. Scrap busting is tedious. I know some folks will cut them while they are cutting out a garment. You know what I mean? So if they're cutting a shirt out of a knit, they'll cut a pair of underwear. I've actually done this a few times. Usually after the stream is done, I'll think, oh, I'll make a matching pair of underwear. In fact, there's a pair from when I sewed the Deer and Doe Scirocco jumpsuit. And I meant to sew them and send them to Hearts because they're not even my size. They're not even my size and style. They're like bikini. Just like this one, you could probably use the same fabric in the crotch panel. Where is it? There we go. I love these. I love stripes though. I use this as a hem band and sleeves to go with some fabric I got. Oops. To make myself a winter shirt when I made my mom's. And I was hoping I'd have enough fabric to make underwear out of the scraps of that fabric, but I didn't. The watermelon undies. I love those. Those are a brushed poly. And I wouldn't think they would be nice for underwear. They are really tacky. Like they grab anything they're against. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Well, no, it doesn't bleed at all. But theoretically, it's all going to be gone by the time I'm done sewing, Michelle. If I were being much more careful, I'd make sure I was cutting it off. Like say I was doing this on like a white linen top. I wouldn't use a black Sharpie. It's too risky for really, not that it'll bleed, but that you'll leave some on the seam allowance and you'll see that black showing through to the outside of the garment. But you could use like a washable marker. The reason you don't see a lot of people doing this is because most people aren't, their patterns aren't on hard paper. So if you transfer your patterns onto hard paper, you can trace them, and that's like all those patterns that are behind me on the wall. That's what we do. It's just easier, keeps your patterns nicer if you don't cut around them like someone I know. And except the Sharpie does make the edge. It'll absorb so much ink over time that the fabric or the paper kind of gets fuzzy, soft and fuzzy because it's absorbed too much moisture from the ink. Yeah, old t-shirts for the crotch panel. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that's smart. Yeah, a lot of you have been doing that. Yeah, I use these washable Crayola markers that Nancy turned us all on to. These things are amazing. They really are. They're really amazing. Okay, this is a big piece. What did I make this? I made a cashmerette, oh, the Alcott dress. I would love to make myself one of those. I own the Appleton and I haven't made that one yet, and I'd really like to make it too. What's the difference between the Alcott and the Appleton? I looked this up once. Oof. Here, what we can do is we can fold this piece a little bit more, and we can get one of these right here. Could probably get 1, 2. Could we get one more of these? Probably. Okay. What do you keep meaning to buy from Hearts? I'm kind of curious about not joining the club. I'm just curious because I'm curious what platform they're using. Because they keep saying it's a community, and I'm like, is it though? Because a lot of people will sell access to things like that, and they say they're a community, and then it's really just like commenting under posts, like instructional posts. It's my competition, Sydney. All right. They don't last long. They dry out real fast if you leave the cover off. Oh, interesting. Oh, the watermelon fabric. Yeah, I think they do have it. I love that. Yeah, and those underwear are some of my go-to. They, my stitch came out on the side seam though, so I have to fix them. And my husband loved those. He thought they were hilarious. Plus, they're so photogenic. Not when I'm wearing them, but... I think it's really interesting that that club, Sydney, is that you can only get those patterns. I think in the club, and you can only get it in the months you're in, which that just surprises me. I don't think that'll stay. It's a waste of their energy to have patterns that are never going to get used again. Is that the only difference between those patterns? Really? It does. And the sleeves, right? The sleeves are kind of different. The Alcott's a faux wrap. That was a wrap. That was a full wrap. It had elastic. Maybe the Appleton's a fake wrap. Let's see. Don't I have it right here? Yeah, I have them both. Oh, the Alcott is a wrap that goes into a midriff seam. And then the Appleton is an actual wrap, I think. Oh my gosh. Right, yeah, so it is different. Yeah, I don't think I think that, I mean, I don't know, I shouldn't be talking at all, but like, because I don't actually know the details of that club at all. I definitely was like, oh, really? You're launching a community, huh? No. But I actually want to know more about it. So someone joins, I want to know what platform they're using and what the community's like, because I'm curious. Because I've been doing all the research on platforms, and the one I'm using is the only one that's actually a community. I really researched it. So I'm like, what did they find? I think it's in their website. Oh, it's a message board like Seamwork. Oh, hi, Mafio. Nice to see you. Okay, interesting. I mean, Seamworks is, you know, it works pretty good for that. And you can post your projects and things, which is kind of cool. But the way I understand the pattern thing is that if you signed up this month, you got their Amelia Bomber jacket. And then anybody who signs up after this month doesn't get it. And it's never allowed to be sold again, which just seems like so much, oh, peer board, I've never heard of that. Okay. It seems like so much effort on their part to not to be able to capitalize on that pattern again. Oh, they went into business? That's a bummer. Sorry, Nancy. I think you really like that one, right? All right, so I'm like, come on, Cashmerette. Some of us actually need the funds in order to do what we're doing. Can you not? Just throw us a bone here. Just teasing. Okay. This fabric, I love this fabric as far as the content goes. It's like a bamboo rayon tencel thingy. Sorry, I don't really know what it is. I love the idea of feathers. I love the idea of feathers being on things. I love the idea of just feathers in general. But for some reason, every time I see them on fabric, I'm always not quite sold on it. Yeah, yeah, that's true, Sydney. It made me question that I have a free version of my guild at first. And then I was like, no, I really like having a free version of my guild. People add, you know, there are people that have a lot of really good quality to add to a community that aren't in the paid groups. Aw, Emily, thanks. I'm not looking for compliments. I really am not. You know, it's just when you're putting so much effort into something, you question things constantly, you know? You're always like, okay, what do people want? What's the best way to do this? You know, I'm always thinking about it. And, you know, and plus you guys are putting up with me learning the platform, which I know has been a little bit painful, right, Libby? I don't know if Libby's still here. But I figured out something big this weekend that I don't know how this kind of got by me, but whatever. But I like anyone being, it's a community. Community is, the word community means something very specific. And if you can't allow everybody to join, then it's not a community. You know? And I don't think that's their number one goal, so I'm not throwing shade on what they're doing at all. I think it's the wave of the future. People are doing that, and that's what we're going to see from so many places is the subscription model places to hang out and stuff. So I think it was really smart that they did that. And I wanted that bomber jacket, but I had already bought the Wardrobe by Beam bomber jacket, and I was like, oh, I already have one, so I just need to sew it up. And there's a few other bomber jackets out there. And what my goal was community, not to sell patterns. It's community. I really like bringing people together and giving them a space that they can use in the way they want to use it. And that's why I'm not constantly posting my stuff in there or commenting, because it's your guys' space, you know? Oh, okay, Mullen. Oh, I didn't know they had a... Oh, wait, maybe I did know about that box. Oh, yeah. I just realized you guys talked a lot. Let me read a catch. Book of the month, you get a credit, and have 5 book choices. Would you rather have choices than one? Oh, yeah. I think that's how Seamwork works, Michelle. You get credits. Oh, okay, Aisha. Yeah, I've been waiting to hear that exact sentence. Because I don't want to have a thing when people aren't ready. Okay, wait, where am I at here? That's one whole set, right? And this is what? 2 fronts for the 2 backs. Okay, just making sure. I still need 3 of these, right? Okay. I was just about to just plunk that in the middle, and I think I need to be more strategic. Yeah, exactly, Carrie. Because what if someone was in there in one of the paid groups and they just needed to not pay for something for a while? Maybe they're going through something. Sewing might be the one thing for them that is like their calming thing. And I'm not going to like say you can't be a part of this group you've built this community with just because you can't afford it. Like that's like paying for access to your friends basically, right? And then maybe one day their finances will change again. Maybe they won't. It doesn't matter to me. All right, I'm not sure I'm going to get 3 because I've been kind of willy-nilly cutting these. Oh, maybe I can get it right here. Oh, well. Maybe right here. Let's just cut these out and see. Did I throw any down there? Whoops. The funny thing is, and I can't believe I'm going to mention this in a live stream. That's so public, but I will admit something to you guys. The idea of having the community is so like my introvert anxieties are tested about it. Because I sometimes am just like, oh no, I just can't do this. Like I can't do this. I can't interact with everybody. You know, like it's not easy. Yeah. Oh, thanks you guys. I'm really glad you guys like it. Yeah, exactly. Well, and I've been in some of those areas and some like other platforms and where I really like the original person doing all the content or whatever it is, but the community thing is almost, it feels like Instagram for me, where I feel a little bit like, oh, everyone's doing such great stuff. I can't keep up. I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. I don't really feel that way with the guild, and I hope other people don't feel that way, but I imagine that happens for all of us, right? Eventually, because we might be having a good day or a bad day. But the other places I've been, they feel more, you get ignored. You get ignored. That's what it is that, and it's not because it's a conscious thing on anybody's, they're not consciously ignoring you. It's just that it's not a format that allows you to interact easily. And so your whatever you say or post could get just lost immediately because it's more like a scroll feed of stuff and not a place to kind of be able to revisit. If you don't go to the guild every 4 days, if you only go every 4 days, you're fine. You're going to catch up on stuff. It doesn't even matter. I don't even think it'll matter if there's 1,000 people in there. I think it's easier to keep up on stuff, especially because there's topics. So, yeah, and I think it's also different than something like Facebook or something too. Like Facebook would be like that, right? Because I'm in, I have to be in one group for one of the ambassador things, and I try and do I have to post my pictures in a Google Doc. And so I have to open up that group to do that. I don't have to interact in the group itself. I don't mind it, but I just don't really have anything to offer. Every time I log in, say I log in and then I have to just go back to this other screen, get the pictures because I found the Google Doc, and then I go back and I refresh the page to get it. There's a whole nother 10 posts because I've never seen them before and it keeps suggesting it, and it's kind of overwhelming. because there's like thousands of people, you know, like thousands of posts in there. Yeah, interacting is very exhausting. It's easier for me this way. The Zoom thing I'm getting better at. I feel you on that, Nancy, for sure. But I've had I gently did it with a lot of you last year, which was really awesome. And then the guild really kind of ramped that up for me too. And that's been good. Yeah, you don't have to talk at all in the workshop. And that, I have to admit, I did that because I had to tell myself that this is just a space where we can all work together, because I get so nervous about stuff like that. So, and I know I'm not the only one. You know, I think there's other people that are just like, oof, I'm not ever going to join a workshop because it's too much. I'm looking for a scrap of fabric for one more panel. Maybe I could do, oh, this isn't, I thought it was gray on the back, but it's not. The piece is so tiny. It just goes to show you that not every scrap is going to work. Ooh, oh, I thought that was one of them. I could just do black. But I know I won't pick those underwear out because they'll be like that. I know, I'm just such a weirdo. Yeah, Nancy, you have a bird group? I love that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Fiona does, Aisha. Exactly. It's great. I know the other day my husband was like, how was your Zoom? I was like, it was so fun today. He was like, that's a difference from how you feel about before the Zoom. I'm always like, oh, I have another Zoom. You know. Now you guys know. I have to like, I could do this. I'm more nervous about Zooms than streaming live. You know what I forgot all this time, you guys, is to potentially cut out fabric waistbands. Bummer. Okay, so I need one more feather, crotch for the feathers, and then I need the linings for them. All right, so this one, this is bright white, sorry. If anyone's here that doesn't know about the Guild, check it out. It's sosoguild.com. It is a really nice space. If you want to hang out with people and talk about sewing, it is a really nice, everyone is really, really lovely in there. Hi, Virginia. How's it going? Welcome. Ah, you're not the only one from Australia. There's some folks from New Zealand and Australia here. Are you early birds? All right, do we think I can get, no, there's no way I can get another one out of that. All right, okay, this is, wait, who asked about the black ink? Here's the true test, my white underwear. Oh my gosh, can you just not, Saremy? Come on. Oh, look at that. It like shifted. All right, I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah, and there is a free version. There are paid versions. I have to have paid versions. I have to pay for the Guild. It costs me, and I need to cover expenses for all the stuff I do. But the reason I started it was I really love the idea of community. And you know, a lot of live streamers have communities, but they have them on an app called Discord, which I'm not a huge fan of Discord. I understand the benefits of it a lot. But I'm just not a big fan of the interface of it. And I also didn't want to have to teach people that platform. Granted, I am teaching people the best I can how to use the one I have. But it is pretty intuitive once you start getting the hang of it. But I also needed a place because people were supporting me on Patreon and it was so generous. Just part of me always felt kind of bad about that. Like I need it for, you know, paying for internet projects. all the stuff. But with the Guild, I can actually create things for you guys in exchange for that. And hopefully they're things you actually want and need, like the skill building sessions and stuff like that. So the workshops, which workshop just means it's a time where we Zoom together and you can work on your project. And if you have a question, you need help, I'm there. So that's it. Discord is super confusing. And I find that a lot of people use it as a badge of, you know, like, kind of like they love that they know how to use it and you don't. All right, I forgot the crotch lining. So how bold am I going to get for the print panel for these? You know? Oh, this is the wrong grain line. It's this way. Is Discord like Slack? I was in something like Slack. I think Discord's more sophisticated. What level are the workshops open? What does that mean? Oh, nice, Virginia. Well, welcome. Yeah, exactly, Aisha. You get so nervous in Zooms too. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Some folks are really energetic. You know who inspires me to be really energetic or enthusiastic about Zooms is Lindsay. I think Lindsay's still here. She seems like she's really embraced the whole Zoom thing, and I think of how enthusiastic she is every time we see her. I'm trying to cut off the black. Hopefully when I overlock these pieces, I'll cut off the remaining black because I don't really want it to show. Oh, those are a monthly thing. They are in the Journeyist group, which I think is $16 a month. And that's the one that you get 2 workshops a month. The Ask a Sew question show, which is like a private show. And then you get a skill building session every month too. And this last month's, or this February's just dropped. It's all about pockets. Yeah, Elena. I think it's just like people either click with Discord or they don't. But you can make phone calls. You can do video chat in Discord. Discord is really helpful because like I've gotten a lot of help for live streaming or my computer or using Streamlabs through Discord, which is really great. I've gotten lots of really good streaming related help through Discord, and it's great. Like, you know, they can take over your computer. They can help you out with things. Depends on where you're at in Discord. I'm all they. Who's this they? Okay, so how many did we cut, you guys? Anyone tallying? I doubt it. Let's see. We got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many of the stripe did I get? 9, 12, 13. Who folded these? 15 pairs? Holy moly. Really, Sydney? Well, Lindsay, I just might make you the host sometime. Oh, I missed what you said. Yeah, so it's the Journeyist group that has that. It's kind of like, they call the meat and the potatoes of it, of the guild, as far as financing things. But there's like the apprentice level, which is like, you know, for those folks that are just like, I don't really want to participate in the guild, or I just want to send you $5 a month or whatever it is, $6 a month. And then you get the Ask a Sewing question show, which is fun. And Lindsay. That was funny. Yeah, that's awesome, Elena. You know, one of my favorite tones in the world is the Discord notification tone. I love that sound. Isn't that funny? I'm looking for my green line here. Okay. It really is, okay, I can see it now. This we just might have to, cut around the pattern piece. If I put this, it won't make much difference. Oops. Oh, right. Exactly. Among Us would be a good thing. And Discord's very essential for people to talk to each other in games that are on different platforms from each other too. Imagine if Discord had jumped on the whole, you know, like the Zoom type of thing, because they were really well established. I'm really surprised that that didn't become the go-to. But Zoom doesn't have a community aspect, which Discord is a community-based platform. 2, 4. All right, so what are we thinking about me using the fold-over elastic as if it's Picot? Yeah, it's so true, Elena. They really stepped up their game. I think maybe I can get 2. I haven't seen you in a while, Elena. How are you? It's nice to see you. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I think that people, yeah, and Discord's already huge. So they're already managing enough, I'm sure. And the steep learning curve. Hey, Eliza. Eliza, the pudgy professor. What was that top you posted on Instagram, Eliza? Sorry I keep playing with my bangs. I want more of a cottony lining, and I think I have one. Oh, maybe it's white. I think it's white. Oops, sorry. Let's whack the microphone. Yeah, I think it's this white stuff. Oh, wait. Yeah, and I have a wool. Oh, here's the black. Wait. Oh, no, this is a... That's a power stretch polar fleece. Both, Michelle. Oh, your dog's been sick. I'm sorry. I hope that it's okay. Yeah, no worries about the zooms either, but anytime you can make it, great. The Frida top from Atelier. Okay, that hashtag you used, they had only like 5 shirts. They were all that shirt though. I just couldn't figure out what it was called and where to find it because I thought it was really cute. I really liked the curved yoke, kind of like the Azores dress that I made, and it had a button front placket. I'll pull it up for you guys. What'd you say it was? Frida top blouse. I've never sewn one of their patterns. I don't know what this setup looks like. Can you still, you can't see me. You can just see, I'm sorry, it looks like that's a bad word on my, here, I'm gonna move this. Wait. That's my light. There we go. Is there a light colored? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so it has like, that is the smallest picture ever. So it has this yoke with gathers coming out. Oh, I thought the yoke was curved in the back. It looked curved on one I saw hanging on a hanger maybe. None of these pictures look like they're going to really show it off. Why would you use this picture? What the heck? All right, well. See, it looks, oh, it's a slant. Maybe that's what I was thinking was a curve. Can you see that slant line? All right, well, sorry. That's all the pictures I have. Did I just X out the, oh no, I didn't. Here we go. There we go. Oh, using the FOE as Picot. Yeah, that is a weird statement, huh? He's as good as he can be. We're managing to do this. I don't know. So some of these, I don't think so, because, so what I'm thinking of using is this right here. This one's pre-folded, right? And just treating it as one. This is actually thinner than this Picot. This is pretty stiff. This is more like a braided elastic. And I bet, I'm not sure what this is. Maybe it's knitted elastic. Seems tight, too tight for that. So I was thinking, yeah, just treating it as one. I think I could do that with this, but I think this would be really fiddly. This is the stuff that's supposedly, like, it's got the score down the middle, so it wants to fold. But I was thinking this, I could just sew in flat and leave it like a flat piece of elastic. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do some experiments first before I commit. I promise I'll do some examples and stuff. Oh, sure, Virginia. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of experimenting with the fold over elastic. I do have a few videos. I'm definitely not, like, it's not my main thing I sew. I think there's people out there that have put a lot more time and energy in developing their favorite ways to sew underwear and things. I'm looking for the grain line right now because for some reason it looks like it's this way right now, but I don't think it is. Oh yeah, there's the selvage. Yeah, it is this way. Okay. It's perpendicular to me. All right. Oh, cool. Minimal instructions? Sign me up. No. I think it might, Barbara. You mean the one that's not folded already, but it has that score? No, I think it could be problematic. I really do. I'm definitely not I'm not underestimating it. Yeah. Am I not underestimating it? I'm estimating it. Hey, Michelle, how's it going? Sew Over 50 posted a picture of a top today as well, of a pattern company I hadn't heard of. It was kind of a dusty rose-colored top. I think the caption was something like, "Point well taken," or something like that. And I wasn't bowled over by the top, but it's a short-sleeved button-up with a hidden placket. I know someone was asking about hidden plackets. And a collar with more of a stern point to it, like it's narrowed and tapered. But the really cute thing about that top is it's a short sleeve, but it has a button placket on the back. It's really cute. Right, Michelle? Look at me now. I don't know if I would say I'm loving. I didn't hate it. Did I hate it? I didn't hate it. I don't do bras, but I have good reasons for that. I thought I was going to get a sponsored stream for a bra. They were really, they contacted me. Spent a lot of time emailing them, and then poof, they're gone. They wanted to do a giveaway, and I was like, go for it, but I'm not handling a giveaway. And they kept bringing it up. I was like, I'm not handling a giveaway. I'm pretty adamant about that. I won't handle someone's giveaway. Giveaways are a lot of work, and you have to handle them very specifically on YouTube, and I don't want to deal with it. Plus, they're a lot of work. I'm good. Yeah, me too, Malin. It's so cute. Like, I'm not a big fan of the color, but, you know, I could change that. 2, 4, 6. Didn't I already cut 5 of these too? 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, just making sure. I need 4 more. Oh, yeah. That's how I feel about bras, Michelle. My thing about bras is that, this is probably TMI, but I will say it, because I sometimes think it just needs to be said. Growing up, I was very, very, very busty. I still am busty. I was very busty, and it was very hard for me. I didn't like it. I was very athletic. I would have been more so athletic had I not been so busty. It was embarrassing for me. It was very uncomfortable. I was getting dents in my shoulders. Yeah. And, you know, just the humiliation of how I got treated in school, how guys would come and watch my volleyball games because of it. It was just embarrassing. And so I got a breast reduction, and my insurance paid for it. And it changed my life. It was really amazing. And so for the first time ever, I could actually buy a bra that fit me, that I would wear, you know, and because my other one before, I just wouldn't buy a new one. I was too embarrassed and stuff. So I am still extremely satisfied that I can shop for a bra, find one that fits right off the rack, including a sports bra. So it's just like a point of pride and relief for me. So that's why I don't make my own bras. That's really all. Because I think I'd really enjoy it. I love the whole technical aspect of it and all the different things you get to do. It's just not something, I just really enjoy it. Hey, Susu, how's it going? It's okay, Michelle. Yeah, quite 70s, exactly that collar. Exactly. I probably whined a little. I'm not saying I didn't whine and complain, Michelle. You're probably right. You're right about that part. We'll see how I like my cover stitch this time. Yeah, Aisha, yeah. I get, my jog bras I get are from SheFit. So if you're someone who's doesn't like bounce at all, you're like a runner or someone doing high impact sports, I like 0 bounce. Some people are fine with it. I do not like any bounce. It's very uncomfortable. I like their bras, the SheFit bras. They are worth the money for sure. There's so many adjustments on them, and once you adjust them, you don't have to adjust it again. You can just put it on and off because it zips up the front, and I love that. So, yeah, exactly, Michelle. You're immediately a SLET just because you have a bust. It's just terrible. It's really terrible. I can't say some of those words because of it'll flag it on YouTube. So don't type it, please. It probably, spelling it wasn't a good idea either. I don't know. That's why we say the panini around here, not the other thing that has to do with the great, you know, sickness of the last couple years. If you can't wait to get out of a wire bra, it means it doesn't fit right. Yeah. For a while there, I had a phase where I could wear soft bras, but I like wearing a wired bra still. I still wear a minimizer bra too. I'm still self-conscious about it. Okay, so 15 pairs of underwear. I didn't even cut the black, which I probably should because I love having black underwear. I'll cut those off camera since you can't see really, and I feel like the whole black fabric on the, it's like a black hole, you know? So I got 2, 3. Oh, I still need another extra panel for this. I'm so determined to get it out of the fabric. I know I probably should just let it go. I don't know. Do you think black is good? I can't use black for this. What should I use? Maybe I'll use this fabric for the lining of the panel there. I also have these scraps here. This could work for me. Black could work on these two. I felt like I should just cut one out of this fabric, and this one, this black could work for this. Maybe I would use this instead of black for the panel of these. How many did I get? I got 3 of those, so I need 3. And then so I think I just need to cut, maybe I'll use that. Oh, I have, oh, see, this is the pair I cut out a long time ago. Do you have one of those, Margaret? Aren't they amazing? It's funny, I got an ad. I've been getting all of a sudden, my business account on Instagram, I'm getting ads. 1 post, 2 ads. 1 post, 2. It's really bad. I never used to get ads having a business account on Instagram, and now I am. And by the way, there's no ads in my guild. No one's taking your data. I got a SheFit ad, and I've decided not to look at the comments of those before because I've seen them before, and people are like, it's too expensive. It's $80 for a bra. It's expensive, but the thing is, they're amazing. There's so much work in each one of these bras, and it's not like something you're going to use every single day. So I used one of their promos, and I think I got 2, maybe I got 3. And so I can switch out. So they're amazing. I never thought I'd like a zipper front. I love it. I love it because there's a hook. There's 2 hooks, so you don't have to hold it together when you zip it. It's really easy. Only one of them fits you. Are they the same? They have different styles, don't they? Oh, wait, what did Nancy say? I didn't see. Oh. You would shuffle all the pieces. All this? Oh, yeah. No, you got to be methodical. Maybe I could use this fabric for, oh, look. This isn't the pattern piece, though. Where's my pattern piece? No, that's not the pattern. Look at that, it's narrower. How weird. You know that, when we talk about like standard measurements, people talk about standard measurements and they want things to be standardized. Do you know that one of the few standard measurements that doesn't fluctuate much on any human being, I'm going to say most people who identify as female, the distance of the crotch right here, the width, that doesn't change on across all adults. It changes like maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch total, maybe. That's one of the really interesting standard measurements there is. That doesn't change. No, they don't, Eliza. They do not touch. It's not separating, it's not giving me a division in my clothing though, but I'm using it for workout wear. I would not wear this around, it would be too much. It would be too much to wear during the day. Yeah, it's an athletic bra. It's going to really press you down. But it's like 2 bras in one. Like there's an inner bra that's separating. Yeah, I love that. Oh, okay, Elena, yeah. Okay. So this one needs a panel. Sorry, let me think. Okay, you don't need one. You don't need one. And so I'm thinking that black will work for all of these, right? I could use this for this for that, maybe that for that. I could use this for this. You know what? I'm going to use this for the lining of those. I didn't have enough to do, it doesn't seem like I had enough to do a pair of underwear out of this, so I just saved it just in case. So we need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. Okay. Yeah, I may not be describing that factoid accurately, but I remember reading about that. And I read it when I was pregnant. It was like a labor and delivery type of factoid. And as a pattern drafter, I definitely was like, oh, that's so interesting. We're always looking for measurements like that and information. You know what? I take that back. I may not have learned that when I was pregnant. I think I thought about it when I was pregnant because I learned it when I was working at an athletic apparel company. I don't know why I got that information there. I can't remember now. It might have been in conjunction with doing triathlete gear and swimsuits. Or, no, you know what it might have been? It might have been the lining of running shorts. You know how some running shorts have like an underwear lining so you don't have to wear underwear? It's like a mesh built-in underwear panel. I think I started looking at changing something about one of our patterns, and I think I ran across that. And I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. 2, 4, I need 8, right? I need 2 for you, 3 for you. So we'll put you here. That's how you keep track, right? Those both need 2. That's going to be weird. I know it's going to be weird. I just want to print in a dark fabric for the lining. 3, 4. All right, so tomorrow I'll be sewing and experimenting with using fold over like a Picot, and I'll be using it like fold over probably too. And I remember Amy was asking about how to sew it without a cover stitch. I'll talk about that too. I have done that on live stream, and it was my first time sewing underwear, and they actually went really good. The thing about the zigzag for me was that I did get skipped stitches. And I was using the right needle and all that. It was just a couple of them. This is the pattern I copied from my own underwear, Eliza. This is what I'm doing. I'm just sewing underwear tomorrow. But on Saturday, I'm sewing the Sydney dress by 5 out of 4 patterns. This one still needs a panel. These are black. Did I just recut all my panels? I kind of recut all my panels. I cut all those black panels, and now I didn't even use them all. Jeez. You get one. How many are here? 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, because that one needs an extra. All right, we have extra panels. Just a few. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Backups. Wait. 4, 5, 6. We'll put these in the bin. This is my Sydney dress fabric. It's all cut out already though. I'm just gonna keep it in here. Yeah, it's a self-drafted pattern. I just copied my underwear pattern because they worked. I have a ton of underwear patterns. I'll be sewing them just like you would almost all underwear though. So I'm not doing anything weird that way. This one has a separate crotch. I'll show you my two patterns. Like the two pattern styles I see most often are like this. There's a back and a front like this. It goes like this, right? And then this one has a crotch lining, but it's sewn on top, well not on top of, but it's like behind the front right there. So like that. And one thing I recommend if yours is like this is top stitch this down. Don't leave it loose. Sometimes I leave it loose and I always regret it. Just top stitch it down. Doesn't matter if there's a seam right there, right? And then this won't like curl and fold, you know? All right, and then this is mine. It has a separate crotch panel. I don't know why. I could have just married the piece, but it makes the pattern piece a little bit harder to fit on fabric. So it is more cutting, it is more seams, but it works better on scraps. And then here's my front, right? So it goes like this. And then my pattern, why this is one of my favorites, is that I have the side seam coming forward. Because I have a stretch mark on one side that's really sensitive. And so when I have a seam on it, for some reason most underwear seams land right on it. And it gets irritated. Terry, how's it going? Hey, Kathleen. Oh, you made a pair of the Zen pants and you made shorts version? Yeah, that waistband is interesting, isn't it? I'm going to make those again, and I'm going to make that waistband one like in a circle. So those are the underwears I'm going to do. So. Guess I got to cut more undies. You get one and you get one, exactly. All right, so let me show you my calendar for the month real quick. I know some of you are probably going to take off. Here we go. So this week, that first week, the variety week, knits. And then I played around in Procreate and drew the Sydney dress with the fabric behind it. That's my fabric design. It's a sample of the fabric. I didn't publish the fabric design. So this is it. This is the one-off. And then 2 weeks from today, I'll be cutting out the Girl Friday blouse by Decades of Style, and Hearts Fabric gave us that pattern. So I highly recommend, if you're at all interested in this pattern, going to the Decades of Style website and looking at the sewn version on her site. It's this one that I featured there. So it's the one without the stitching on the collar. But the collar stitching is really cool. And you see that one mostly on Instagram. And here's the pattern right here. I'm just going to put my pattern table right here real quick so you can see. This is the pattern. And you see all those lines on the collar? That's all hand stitches to kind of give the collar some body. And there's some really cute ones on Instagram. So that one's pretty cool. But we're using this Italian fabric that Hearts has, and there won't be any hand stitching on the collar. So I'm going to sew it more of the style that I have featured on the calendar. So that will be that one. And then the last week of the month, I'm going to draft some overalls using jeans as a starting point. If anyone wants to join me, you're welcome to join me. I'll sew them in April. And then they're going to be for my husband. I need a pair too. I would like a pair. But I'm going to use techniques that will work on any gender overalls. Yeah, so the overalls, Eliza, yeah, I'm just going to take a pair of a jeans pattern and make them into the overalls. Some people do this. They'll actually put a removable bib on their jeans. and turn any jeans into overalls, but I'm going to make him actual overalls because I'm sure he doesn't want a seam where stuff can slip in like dirt and weeds, you know, because he's always hauling stuff and lifting stuff up. And then I'll probably talk to him about what kinds of pockets he'd like. I'm using a jeans pattern, Mafio. So I'm going to draft them. And I'm going to ask him if he's okay with it, but I'm probably going to use the Wardrobe by Me jeans, which are just a very basic, generic style jean. You can use any jeans pattern or pants pattern you want. Oh yeah, I still wear those. They're just really warm. Like they're great. I wear those. Those are coveralls. The Blanca flight suit. Yeah, I wear those. I love them. I just want some overalls to really throw on over a t-shirt occasionally, you know. But I'm gonna make him stuff first because he needs them. He actually does need something. I even bought the fabric already. Oh, it's right here. This is what he wanted. It's like almost like a Carhartt orange. Yeah, the Blanca flight suit, Liza, exactly. I got this canvas from Hearts Fabric. They have a really great canvas selection. Yeah. Yeah, I love the other thing about the Blanca flight suit when I'm wearing them a lot is that it's a big item of clothing to have to launder. The overalls will still be kind of big, but it's kind of nice to have something that is a little cooler. Like when I know I don't need full-on poison oak coverage. Because that's why I have those. Poison oak was really bad that year, too. I still get issues when I get even touched by agave now. Like I still have this little weird pink thing on my arm. More sunflower pockets. Exactly. I know. I look like probably a very eccentric person. Yeah, right, Terry? Exactly. Yeah, I showed him 3 colors, and I kind of was leaning towards this deep, deep pine green canvas. I thought, ooh, that'd be such nice overalls. But he saw these, and he went for it. I think he just wants them to look like run-of-the-mill overalls. My first mistake was yesterday looking them up on the internet. I just Googled men's overalls, because I wanted to see like what were the distinguishing factors of the overalls. $45. That's the distinguishing factor. I didn't need to see that they were only $45. Oh, cool, Mullen. Oh, they only have 1 inch. Wow. That does seem kind of slim. So is it numbered sizes rather than lettered? Well, meaning like, like Missy, 6, 8, 10, 12, rather than SML, XL. So the difference between those is the SML is double the E's. So like say the 6 and the 8 would be the medium, the 10 and the 12 would be the large. That's the conversion for that sizing, SML versus those. Right, Lindsay? I thought that deep pine color would look so good on him. With like some brown accents. I was kind of all about that, but I just let them pick whatever. I don't put my 2 cents in. They gotta want to wear it, right? And he was about to buy some. I was like, that's the perfect thing to sew. Don't buy those. He was like, oh, you'd make one of those? So. Oh, that's awesome, Kathleen. Numbered sizes. Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, you might size up. Oh, cool, Mafio. They have a tutorial on them. That's awesome. Is the Stitch Sisters? Oh no, I'm thinking Fold Line. Those gals are so awesome. I was just about to say where they. I was thinking Fold Line for some reason, and you know how Fold Line always does this, like, oh, we're gonna find the pattern for the something from like a show or a movie, and I was like, oh, were the overalls from a show or a movie? All right, so that's my month for March. I don't stream every week anymore because of the guild. I'm spending a lot of time in there. I have workshops. Workshops meaning they're like Zooms where we hang out and work on things. We just started a new group in there that's free. Anyone can join, and it's about capsule wardrobes. So we're all making capsule wardrobes. I'll probably do some events with that. Like maybe we could all meet and talk about our capsule wardrobes. I'll probably have a private live stream soon about sleeves. I've been thinking about that this month too. Sleeve fitting. And, oh, and I do have my skill building sessions are both for sale on my website. I just listed the pockets one. I haven't announced it yet. I just can't do it all. I really need to, but it's just like, I hate posting more than once a day on Instagram. I feel like it's so annoying, even though I don't think most people see it because of the reels. So I don't know. Anyway. All right, Michelle, I'm gonna take off too now. It was nice seeing you all. I'll see you tomorrow though, same time, same place, and I'll be sewing underwear, serger cover stitch, probably maybe. I was just thinking I would bring them over to my machine so I can have my face cam, but I might bop between the two machines a lot, so it might be better over there. I might be able to set a face cam up over there. We'll see. Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, you guys. I'll see you guys on tomorrow. And then Saturday, I'm sewing the dress too, so nice seeing you all. Thanks for the chat too. I'm trying to think. There was something else I wanted to tell you guys, but I can't think of what it was. Anyway, I'll remember tomorrow. Bye.